I'm working these assemblies that go on the drop leaf table, and here's one that I've assembled, the first one, and there's quite a number of steps in making these pieces. There will be 4 of these, so there'll be another one over. So when you raise the leaf on the table, it's held up by this pivot. Well, this is the pivot block, or this is the pivot block, and this is the bracket, I guess. And it has this wooden joint here, which requires some careful thought about the steps involved. In fact, I have written out a number of steps here. I've got 12 steps involved just to make sure that I'm doing these things in the required order. So I'll go through the steps on a new piece here, but what I've already done is I've marked with a marking gauge, I've marked this 7/8 dimension with a nice knife cut, and then I used the marking gauge to mark out the locations of these dadoes. And then I took a pencil and just show where the waist will be on this part, and then on the pivot, or on this piece, I've shown here the dadoes that have to be removed with a pencil mark. And I've bandsawed in to make these cuts with a 1-inch blade in the bandsaw, and making sure that I had the blade on the proper side of the marking. So everything's marked out and sawn this far, but now it's a matter of removing dadoes and shaping the round part of the joint, shaping these rounds. So I'll go through those steps involved. The next step I need to do is to mark. I set this at 7/16. This is 7/8, so I'm marking this at halfway, which is the round that will help me with the rounding and to know where the rounding stops. And I need also a 7/16. This is 7/8 thick, so I need a 7/16 cut there, and also here. So I need to do that on both pieces here. And here as well. Okay, so I've got that, and by these marks here, I've got the center identified for the rounding, and I use a template here, And where's 7/8? Here's the 7/8. I can put that template over those markings there, and then just get a pencil line that shows me just how much rounding I need to do. So I need to do that on both ends. So the next step will be to actually cut the rounding here. I need that same thing done on the other piece. Okay, I got that marked up, and that. So in the next video, I'll show how I do the rounding.